Hi everyone, I am Lemon Cupcake together with my co-host.
Okap. This time I'm going short because, yeah,
That's
pronouncing my nickname every single time is pain in the ass.
your nickname. You picked it out, not me.
This is not my. Listen, I wouldn't predict I'm going to be in so much into English communities and stuff. Okay, I wasn't
It's
prepared for
okay.
that.
We can just call you as here used to call you CZ. So this is CZ.
I'm going to murder you.
Anyway, welcome to the next episode of the Whistle Talk podcast. And this is a topic that one of my coffee Patreons found, our coffee supporters. We give them like a bonus benefit. They could pick IDs. So this was Ian or Lion. I'm sorry, I don't know how to exactly pronounce it, but the cheetah guy of the coffee. He had the
Mhm.
request to talk about the story of our avatars. Normally we do bullet points, but in this case we just have a 50-50 for this. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Please enjoy. Okap, you can begin with your journey.
Oh god, so I started this entire lore. Oh god, that'll be funny. Okay. Um I guess when I joined VR, so like, yeah, always had one objective in the game. If it comes about avatars, like, come on, I'm the typical guy who was looking for like an anime like characters that I can uh be, I can use, and yeah, I was starting to use them as in the beginning. I still need to find this first ever avatar I was wearing. Like, this brings me so many memories, but yeah, it's kind of lost. I might actually find it. Um, but yeah, I was collecting a lot of avatars with different types of. Firstly, there was like some casual anime like avatars or like girl-ish. Then memes. I ended up unfortunately one day as an e-boy, uh, in
Oh
famous
god.
times. Um, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I know, right? It's like a sin. It's a sin on my on,
That's a
on my
quite a
soul.
character
Uh,
development. You went from an e-boy to femboy. What happened?
that escalated quickly. I mean, not really. I actually started between a couple of types of avatars. Because, yeah, I started with like this girl-ish avatars. Then I went to like memes, e-boys. I went to like before even e-boys. I remember going to cons a lot. Like, oh god, the good times of me collecting cons. Um, Wukong's in general TDA base, because that was something popular back in the day. Right now, there are a lot of like people who hates this base for a reason, though, kinda, because I still like it at some point. Uh, yeah, after so much time, maybe like over 2 years, two and a half, I would say. I was like, what if I start my own journey? I'm going to do something that I want to represent myself, like me myself with the design I want. Because I was sick and tired of features that like, oh, this one avatar have this feature, but this one doesn't, and I wish I had both of them in the same avatar, and yet it looked cool the way I want it to look like. And then yeah, it started. I opened my first ever project with your help actually, because I remember you gave me the Ukon base. You were
Yeah.
the one who started this entire journey. You told me everything I need to get, everything I need to know, and then some other things like firstly, you started with recoloring stuff. I also remember one of my friends. To this day, he can pop on my Twitch from time to time when I'm streaming. Like he's still like on the internet, and I still remember him. He was the first one who taught me how to do toggles on the avatars. So that's how it started. Damn, I remember to this day my first ever avatar, zero fizzbones, just basic ass toggles, like basic like props, maybe some like glasses change, no texture changing and stuff. It was so simple, but it was something like, but I did it. Oh god, I did it. Uh, I also made it quest
Do-do-do.
compatible though. And ironically, my first ever avatar was also quest compatible. Like, wow, I'm actually I was like surprised. I keep it still to this day, like as a memory lane. honestly, as a glorified memorial of my journey, my beginning of the journey. Then I remember after Ukons, I massively started to go with Rusks. Like I couldn't avoid it. Uh, and I, in general, just joined the Komodo enjoyers. Later on, like between Rusks, actually, no, no, hold on a second, hold on a second. Actually, before even joining Raska group, I started with Karin because I remembered that one specific avatar that I still have a picture of that got deleted, and I was so mad about it. It had like such a perfect design, something that I would love to use. Unfortunately, it was PC only. Unfortunately,
Big sad.
so I had to bear with it. But yeah, later on it got deleted. I was mad, but it was the time. Like after that, it was the time when I made this avatar. Um, and later on I was experimenting with different ones. I I was also like, yeah, since it was my first ever avatar, it wasn't perfect. It lacked a lot of things, so I was like, okay, it is something. I'm not giving up yet, but I still like stick to public avies because they were actually good. They had a really good design and stuff. Um, but yeah, then probably if I remember properly, it was like maybe half a year later. Uh, of doing stuff, just messing around with it. And I touched the Rusk as a base to edit. Um, and then the entire journey started with me experimenting with a lot of things actually. Um, doing stuff that I've never done before, and in general, each single avatar I uploaded, except one, I would say there was one avatar that I actually deleted entirely because yeah, that was kind of infamous. I remember Lifa. That was the base I wasn't really proud of. In the meantime, I also was doing like maybe doing like editing avatars for a different friend, old friend of mine. We are not friends anymore, unfortunately,
Big
uh,
sad.
due to some stuff happening, and I knew it. Don't mind me teleporting from time to time. It's just my headset forgetting where the hell I am. Um, but yeah, each avatar was actually better and better. I started with like, yeah, I actually start. Do I did I actually? Actually, no. My first ever base was actually mint. I started with doing my own personal mint. I remember there was even a time when yeah, I was just doing a simple mint. Then I was doing any other avatars and spent like at least over 1.5 year of editing avies right now. With each one getting new features, new things that I learned in the meantime, a lot of stuff that I just was able to do like a self taught. Um, with also watching a lot of tutorials, a lot of like different things, what I can do, what I can change, what I can optimize. Um, and honestly, it got to the point where I started to at this like to the current time, it ended where I'm genuinely teaching other people, doing like editing avatars for other people, and even I even got a commission like not one, not two, maybe even three. But like two of them are actually paid. Um, it's not like I don't know like much stuff. Like I don't know how to do this fancy particle effect. I don't know how to do like gun things and stuff like that. You know, I don't know. I don't do those really advanced, kind of heavy at some point effects and stuff. I just do basic, simple like edits because this is something I like. I like simplicity, and I always like that. That's why I didn't actually want to do obviously throughout this entire or like right now 2 years of a journey, I had a lot of self-doubts, doubts about like how what I do, um if my hobbies are good, like seeing other people doing stuff and just comparing myself, like yeah, it can be depressing, as maybe a lot of creators with different type of things they create, they do, they probably got through this phase as well. I had a friend who also was like that and told me like, if you do what you do right now, it's fine. You just took a different path, which honestly is true. I just took a different path of editing avatars. I'm not saying I'm making avatars, because that's the one mistake that a lot of people do. Or they are just unconscious about it. Like, editing avies does not equal making avies, because yeah, when you do an avatar, you do it from scratch. You do it in Blender. You do it this entire misery of
I
pain
prefer to
and
call it
suffering in the Blender.
customizing.
It's more like editing, customizing, and just gluing everything together into one piece. Honestly, that's what I always tell. Like, I just took the base, I just took some outfits, just took some props, and then just glued everything together as it is. Um, and yeah, I ended at this point. I recorded a lot of tutorials for my friend, you included as well, and our other friend on the server that you exactly know who I'm talking about. uh, yeah, teaching other people, even taking other people's avis under my work, because I was actually able to convince one of my friends that's like, you know, theoretically I can just take your avatar and I can do it. Like, I have a lot of free time right now, and yeah, it's not to offend like other people who've been doing those avatars, but yeah, I just have a free time and I can just do it. So it turned out that I actually do. And yeah, I ended up making this avatar also as a VTuber, because I learned how to do it. So yeah, and a lot of goofy stuff. Like, for example, funny props when you put something to somewhere to your avi, it just makes funny sound, a funny thing. Yeah, it's just constant growing up without even realizing. And do I regret? Not really. I wouldn't say so. One of the things that I definitely do regret is the amount of rage, pain, and suffering I went through when I'm working with this stupid engine called Unity that crashes constantly without any
Exactly.
reason, without even like lags, doesn't tell you what's the error. It doesn't want to fix it because you don't know what the error is. You have to find it yourself. You have to around to find out. Uh, and literally, that's the only pain I have. This retarded engine that
Yeah, I agree
that
with
we have to
you.
work with.
Unity is really hard to handle because it's complicated.
It is. Definitely, it is also confusing at first. If you don't know what you do, you definitely are going to get lost. And myself included, I got lost so many times. But at this point, I most likely know what I'm doing, except scripts. This is confusing. I have a lot of things I would love to know from the scripts, from the official VRChat SDK scripts. I have zero idea. What I do, I just get rid of it. And if it is something crucial, I just keep it because I don't know what it does, and I would love to know. But yeah, in general, just like a conclusion of everything is like constant trying. As I said, also fucking around to find out. It's a constant journey of doing the same thing over and over until you are just going to remember everything. And if only remember, you are just going to get better at some point. There is a perfect quote I can put it here as well. Oh, I'm going to probably. Yes, I am. So I read a perfect quote one day that actually resembles everything. Honestly, when you start doing something, it's like, to be good at something, you need to be really terrible at something, and it's actually relatable to a lot of things. Like, as I said, I started with a really ugly, really simple, probably ugly as hell avatar, and I ended up with something like this when I can call it as a proper avatar. I even made like maybe 4 avatars public right now that a couple of people actually wear constantly because I can see their icons. Spying on people moment. Uh,
How dare.
and yeah, I mean, those icons are public, so don't mind me. Don't mind if I do.
The
But yeah,
Yeah, I know
in
exactly what you
general,
refer to.
I don't really regret. Yeah, I wouldn't say I regret. I am happy with what I have right now. What I was able um to actually achieve for this thing. That's like basically my story.
Well,
Oh no, actually, I want to add another point. In the entire VRC journey of making heavies, at least once you are going to touch a misery of someone else. And I mean it. When you go, I'm not talking specifically about you or other friends, but I had cases when I just looked at the avatar, and what I see is genuinely a fucking noodle of whatever it is inside of a FX layer. For those who know, then know. The FX layer sometimes the layer when every you have every toggle, every single button. This sometimes it's a goddamn mess that even I can't understand. The perfect example for me is a Godfall avatar. This is like a goddamn noodles of a layer of every action this avatar can
yes,
do, and
I
I get
agree on that.
so confused. It's so confusing, and sometimes I need at least 2 or 3 days to understand what is going on here, just to make me realize that I'm doing something wrong. Oh god. And yeah, the other worst part about making avis is when you cooperate and do some avatars with other people, you're going to disagree on the ways you do stuff compared to other people doing stuff. For example, I don't like myself using VRC Fury, and there are a lot of people who just use it. I had a bad experience with it, so I'm not using it, and then that's another like and already a reason to disagree. Because for example, I want to do it manually, but someone don't want to put so much effort and don't use it. For example, I also make custom icons for every single thing I have in my menu. Some people don't, because they don't care. Unfortunately, I do. Same goes with Quest version. So yeah, a lot of disagreements, but at the end, you just make it and you just keep improving.
Yep.
Ooh,
Well, that was
took
a
me a
good
while.
story. But there's a couple of things I wanted to add to your things before I go to my story. First of all, Okap used to have black hair, you see? But then he started using Unity, and now he has gray hair.
What else should I start speaking like an old man from the stress I had?
And the next up is I keep referring as Quest avatars, but actually according to VR chat, they're Android.
Okay, yeah, Android. Like, okay, I grew up with times where it was only Quest and PC. Thank you. You can argue with me. I don't care. Because Android
How's your
as a mobile thing, I don't treat it as a thing because
how,
it's so ridiculous to make Avi for that. It's like impossible, almost impossible for my skills at least, and for a
please
lot of people though.
okay, please tell me how are your iOS avatars going? Already made a third avatar for each one?
As I said, I uploaded only one fallback that is cross compatible with every platform. Yuppie!
It's something. Okay, so I guess my story. But before I give you my story, if you like what you hear or see, you can subscribe below, give a like, and comment below if you have feedback about the podcast or maybe are interested in future topics we can do. Without further ado, let's go to my part of the story. So my story, well, I played VR chats earlier before you. So my first avatar was one of the default avatars in 2018. It was the blue robot, which I still have as a memory because my first. I just had ugly, abysmal, disgusting default avatars, and that was the less ugly one. And yeah, then I came back in 2020 because I took a break in 2019. And yeah, I used that avatar again for maybe a week or two until I found my first avatar that I loved. It's like a Neko avatar with like paws all over her pajama, I guess, or onesie, and they're all like in a RGB color. And I just
I
like
think I know exactly which one you're talking
I've
about.
been trying to find the model, but I can't find the name. Google calls me crazy if I call like anime girl with fox ears with paws on, like no. But I kept using it.
Theoretically, I can try searching for it. It's like an
Nah,
old base to my TDA.
I moved on from it. It's fine. Then I kept
Understandable.
using that until I met a friend who used to be part of the community. He's still my friend, which is Teddy. And he gave me a custom version of his avatar from that model, which had a crown and more effects, which I used. Until I finally found the avatar, which was the last public avatar before I started my Unity journey. And that was like the avatar that I met Okap with, my little Yukon, which does this weird moving
Oh, that legendary one?
That one.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that brings so many good memories.
I just loved how it looked. I know the different version of the avatar and different skins, but that was just like the one I liked the most. So I used that until I met Shooty, and Shooty basically gave me that specific Yukon avatar that I gave you. And he taught me the bare basics how to use Unity. And I basically made an abysmal, ugly skin of my avatar and uploaded it. It was ugly. I didn't have much. I used his RGB effects and lines on my hair, but other than that, it was ugly. And after that, I made a second version of the avatar, which is the avatar I used for my content on this channel, which is the one with just bright blue things, bright just one color. It was ugly, and then I kept upgrading it with the teams. I like that Yukon, and I miss the Yukon, but the point was Shooty gave me this avatar because it was super easy to understand. It was basic. You only like four textures, and you didn't have to learn much about how that worked. I learned the basic
I mean, yeah,
about
I gotta agree. Ukon was actually really simple if it comes about textures.
it was meant for a tutorial avatar until I learned enough to actually upgrade, which I did. So the first avatar I bought and call it my own, which is the one I still technically use theoretically, which is my calm. I love my calm, and I still dearly love it. And yeah, I made multiple versions of my calms, and I mostly learned the basics of Unity on that avatar. I learned how to use bones. I learned how to use gestures, and I learned some animations. I learned toggles. So I learned most of it, I guess. Some are dated, some are added with Okap, but enough to then use that knowledge to upgrade my original Yukon to be a little bit matched, which I used for season 4, until I got tired of that avatar and I retired in season 5. Then I bought a Godfall avatar for lemon related stuff, and yep, okay, first thing I did, Unity, just mess. It's a mess. No offense to the Godfall creator, but organize your avatars. The future avatars about were also exactly a mess, not cross compatible. So it usually I just recolor a bit, remove some toggles, and add some colors of the textures, and that's it. Because it's not much I could do because it's too difficult for me. But I like the Godfalls because they were like the typical eagle avatars. I barely use them because they're super unoptimized. But like I said, I use them for occasions. That's where I learned complicated toggles in the radian menu or the action menu, as VH calls it. And I learned how to turn off and on pieces and change hairs and have duplicate faces and stuff. And I learned how to use that. So I had different toggles. And then eventually I bought the let's see, is there an avatar between this and that? Oh yeah, the last one, the purple hair avatar that I got. I bought it and gave it to Kyle as well, and yeah, I like that one because I like the creator of this guy. This person has like 6 or 7 avatars, and I keep a tradition that every year I buy a new model that I like because these avatars make sense. They're optimized to an extent, and they're looking cute. And I customized them. I eventually bought a second model to replace because I basically made a duplicate version of my avatar for Kyla, the pink one. So like you deserve your own dedicated avatar, and I gave her the one that she still technically has as her old avatar. And yeah, then I basically saw okay, I went from like learning the basic stuff to just going too far. Like he went
Hold on
too
a
far.
second. I can actually show it the way it is like. So I have a pen. That's a really good thing right now at this point. So my way of learning was like I'm just going like that slowly, slowly, and then I was like yoink.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I know how to do this
Whoever
and I
is
do
watching
this.
that instead of
Yeah.
listening, you can see the graph here. This is the time, like this is the time, and this is the scale. Like that's how it went at some point.
Yeah, you like he went from like learning basic toggles and learning some script related stuff to, oh, I know how to add duplicate clothes, and I know how to change my hair, and I made a very optimized thingy here, and I know how to do animation. Like, whoa, 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 what did I miss here?
You forgot to mention I also started using Blender. I understand some parts of it, which I am like at one point I am disappointed, but at the same time it's like, okay, that is actually really useful. So I kind of won, I would say.
Yeah, he mastered it. He still has much to learn, but he got to a point where he can actually do commissions. So he does basic editing commissions, not too demanding. So, but yeah, he does that, and he does a good job. So I did that. So for Kyle's birthday, I paid Okap, and he made his style, the avatar that Kyle is currently still using, and she loves that avatar. She dearly loves it, and she's always excited if you add new features. Because I can do only much. I am not that good, and I am slowly learning piece by piece. You already surpassed me way ahead, so I understand that you know when it comes to making avatars, you are the go-to guy, like the avatar guy. So I decided instead of just making a second version like this one, I made Okap do it. I gave him money. The Yeah, the last avatar is the one I'm currently using. I got this one in January, and I wanted this because this looks like an evolution of the last avatar. It's a bit more an older character, and I like visually how it looks. And I had some toggles. I added the lemon over here, and I feel comfy in this model. I I am picky when it comes to avatars. Okay, I am picky
Yeah,
when it comes.
I exactly know. Yeah, I went with you on VCs for Abby's and like, oh god,
Like
that was quite a journey.
I don't just get any avatar. I need to be sure that I see myself in his avatar and I feel comfortable in his avatar and I can trust and rely on the creator. That's why I rely on the creator. So every year I'm gonna keep doing that. Even later, I think in the future I'll just commission OCAP to make the next generation avatars because you need a PC to edit on Unity. And without my PC, I
Ah, yeah, I forgot you're getting rid of it soon.
yeah, so I'm probably gonna commission you and you upload it in my end. So
Understandable.
yeah, so
Understandable.
that is my journey. It's I like private avatars which are customized because it's it's us. It screams. You can walk in a distance, and if you know us, you're like, oh, those are Lemon and OCap. Instead of just a default avatar with some good things, but then some not, and some other good and some not. It's not. There's always something off. There's always a trade off.
Oh well, definitely. For example, you really like the Abby, but for example, your name is ruined. Like, let's just go with the really extreme case. You need to disappear from you need to change your identity on VR chat, but you like the Abby so much, but you can't use it. Keep people recognize you with it, and damn it, you're going to make a new one.
Yes, avatars
For
are.
example, I
Yeah,
want to add that it is an identity. For example, me with this specific Rusk I was wearing for a long time that I made, I edited. It was like, yeah, it was something like me. There's no way you can imagine me in something else at this point.
tomorrow, Orca's breakthrough e boy again, like the classic
No, no,
typical
no, no,
e
no, no,
boy.
no, 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 no. Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah, that's our story. I guess you have anything else to add before we end the podcast?
Actually, let me think. 'Cause, eh.
Avatars are a complicated thing. VR chat is known for them, so it's not like
Oh, definitely it
it's
is.
like it's going to a
Worlds are
restaurant.
much more simple because you just put objects, you just put it here, done. In the most basic case, you don't need any type of a like learning animations, learning how to use this script, learning how to merge like armatures together and stuff. You just put a cube, put a texture, or put like a ready prefab. You're good to go. Meanwhile, avatars, all you need to do is like, okay, if you just want to mess up with the texture, maybe like change some values in the materials, then you gotta put something in FX layer. If you want to make a toggle for that, then you need to learn how to do animations. It's like way more advanced to start with.
Yeah, in Udon, that's the code to use on Worlds. It's literally box, box, click, click, bool, yes, no. Even I can do it. Simple. But in avatars, it's like, oh, you have this thing and that and this. Like it's spider webs. It's Chinese for me.
Like literally, to make a toggle, like for example, to turn on and off something, you need at least like 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 6 steps to make it. And I wish I was joking.
Yes. So if you're ever considering making avatars in Unity, good luck.
Reconsider your choice, or get someone who knows a lot and can teach you.
Yeah.
Because that's the best I can recommend you.
20
Either
bucks
give
is
up
20 bucks.
or learn or commission someone if you have enough money.
But yeah, one thing I want to add is like avatars in VR chat are like you go into a restaurant and you have no idea what to eat and you get a giant menu. You just have to look until you're satisfied and then get it. It's it's not easy. There are many avatars. You could have arc type of avatars. You can have furry avatars. You could have cringy avatars. You can have e-boys and eagle avatars. You can be a medium. You could be a
memes.
Knuckle. Please come back, Knuckles. We miss you. Hashtag Knuckles come back.
Do you know the way?
Don't say that. No. No, that's mean. Okay. I am done for the
had to.
podcast.
Okay, it's like an auto reaction.
Understandable.
At this
I am
point.
done. So if you have nothing else to say,
I think at this point I am also done. Like there's nothing much I can say.
okay. Then thank you guys for listening and watching the podcast. If you want to see more of us, well, you could follow Okap in the social thingy, the My Team one. You can follow him on YouTube, and there he has everything.
Subscribe me on YouTube. Follow my Twitch. I'm streaming with this model recently, so don't miss that one if you want.
Yeah, he makes a lot of content based on
Self-promotion
music and Mario stuff. So if you like music and like Mario,
my YouTube is mostly about music and some tutorials how to tweak your Windows or something like that. And
yeah,
my Twitch
and
is
Mario.
just playing either rhythm games or Mario games.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And for me, well, just
simple.
just YouTube. I am retiring Twitch very soon, so you don't need to subscribe or follow me on Twitch. Just yeah, but you can follow me on Instagram if you want to. I post pictures from there and there.
I need to go back to Instagram. Oh jeez.
All right, thank you guys for watching and listening, and have a good evening.
Have a nice one.
Or morning. Bye bye.